All right, so we are live again on Night Watchman of Cricket, and आज भी हमें join किया है none other than uh, what they call him AI or genius of cricket Twitter, Dupli Aka Deepak. And जैसा description से evident है, मैंने post भी किया था कि we will talk about majority on recent series of India versus New Zealand and then some other random stuff. So yeah, welcome back again, Dupli.
Great to be back.
Yeah. So first question that हाइंड ट्रोलिंग होने लग रही है कुछ इंटर्स की कि उन्होंने ओवर एस्टिमेट कर दिया था या फिर अंडर एस्टिमेट कर दिया था न्यूजीलैंड टीम को, उसके बाद लोग जाके कोट कर रहे हैं या फिर ट्रोल कर रहे हैं. सो व्हाट योर थॉट व्हेन यू saw this New Zealand squad for this series?
I had already started calculating what will be the post series averages and strike rates of all the best Indian players. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I, if
Yes,
I don't intend to be disrespectful like the way some of these experts try
yes,
to be, but your initial expectation was that having seen under strength teams come to India in the last 5 years, because it's a fairly common occurrence that over the last 5 years since the pandemic, teams generally send under strength ODI teams to other countries, right? That it's the development format right now. It's the format where you
yes,
just send young kids to see if they are fit for the international level, because the T20 World Cup is far more frequent than the ODI World Cup, and I call it the ODI World Cup, but like the World Cup. But क्या कहते
woke nonsense.
हैं but yeah, so you see that the ODI format is not really high up on the list of priorities of countries right now, and they send these under strength squads, and India always bury them. And Kohli always
Hmm.
comes out, and Rohit always comes out and smashes these teams, and you end up just seeing a no contest. So, at some level, I was expecting that, and also because it was not just the fact that New Zealand had sent an under strength team; it was that they had sent a severely understrength team. It was not just the
Yes,
crop of seamers right below the first choice seamers. It was a rung below that too, but not in terms of Kyle Jamieson and Zach Folks, but the third seamer especially. And
yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, I expected an, if not trivial series win for India, but certain a lock for a series win for India.
And even for Jamison, though he had very high potential and performed very well in tests, but in ODIs he was also not regular. Like if you see their hierarchy, so Henry, William O'Rourke, and then Duffy in recent games.
Correct.
So Jamison का
Correct.
नंबर इनके बाद ही आता था.
I think he's third or fourth in their hierarchy. So it's
Yeah.
between him and Will O'Rourke. थोड़ा सा उसमें it's a bit dicey कि उसमें से who they prefer. But
कौन कम अनफिट है?
but Henry is number one. He's the number one pacer, and
Henry is
then
the
उसके बाद
number.
Duffy आता है आजकल.
Yes. So as we were discussing before we go live, first comment came, so we will take it straight away. Then we will go further. I'm
Yeah,
just highlighting it. So just you can read it, right?
yeah, I can read it.
So Deepak bhai पूछना चाहेंगे, does he like the newish version of Virat Kohli and does he think he can conquer that milestone of 100 possibly during the World Cup?
I love the new version of Kohli. Hundreds, I think, is a bit difficult. I think it's a bit beyond, because if you see, he's at 85 right now, right? So
Yes.
he needs 15 more to level it. And
Hmm.
if we say that there are 40 more ODIs, he's had great form over these 6 games, but I don't think it's this level would be sustainable. So if you assume that he scores a century every 5 innings, that's going to take him about till about 90, right? In early 90s or so. So I think that's the best we can expect, like 6, 7 more centuries,
Hmm.
maybe eight, I don't know. But essentially, that sort of range is the best we can expect.
Yeah.
Personally, is what I
But
think.
do you think
I
that
don't think 100 is under threat, unfortunately.
this I have discussed with Nikhil bhai as well that ये हमने एक बना दिया थोड़ा थैंक्स टू सचिन ऑब्वियसली दैट वैसे तो हम बोलते हैं कि फॉर्मेट मिक्सिंग नहीं करनी चाहिए but for some milestone we intentionally do this format mixing. I mean if you ask randomly that how many wickets Bumrah has across format. So I'm not sure how many people will answer it, or how many five wicket falls Ashwin has. I mean, or Ashwin doesn't have any five other than one format, but take any other bowler. So for them, it's not same like how we treat batters.
Yeah. Mhm. Although even for batters, we don't remember specific all format things. This is
Yes,
100 hundreds is also a very pretty number, right? It's like something you remember clearly. If it was a
yes.
101 hundreds that
Symmet-
Tendulkar had, it would
mm,
be slightly less
Symmetry.
sexy. Yeah, it would be less sexy. You would remember it less,
Mm.
and you'd be less obsessed about it. But 100 hundreds,
Uh,
it's almost the
I read
perfect way to
somewhere
end it.
someone said in I think my comment section a few days back that it would be poetic that Virat will retire after 9900. It will be like Breadman.
Uh, although if people are suggesting that he can play till the 2029 Champions Trophy, I'm not sure if
Hmm.
he would have the motivation after the 2027 World Cup if we win it or lose it. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
I don't think he would have the motivation, but if he played till 2029, it's
Hmm.
an outside possibility, but even that would be a bit hard to see.
Yeah. So I mean, you are certain that right now in his mind, the 27 World Cup is his last uh,
I
cutting.
think that's going to be his last tournament because if he wins it, then that's the perfect time for him to go out on a high. And if he loses it, then I don't think a Champions Trophy is a
As
carrot
big.
big enough or
Yeah.
juicy enough for him to go for it.
I actually, if you ask me, I think we can discuss it separately. But even more than World Cup and more than Champions Trophy, there is another event will happen in 2028.
Oh, yeah, the Olympics.
So ideally, if in our country we boast about nationalism and all, so that event I think carries more weight than any other event.
From an
But
Indian
since
perspective, yeah, it will carry a lot of weight. Yeah.
yeah, but since he has already retired, so it's okay. I will take other comments after some time. First, we will discuss about the series. So first thing and foremost thing, I think now everyone is talking about this that New Zealand just outbowled and outbatted in spin department to India, whether in bowling or their spinners or their batters against spinners. सो जडेजा के बारे में कुछ बात करना बनता नहीं है बट कुलदीप डू यू थिंक दैट जब से उसने चेंज किया है अपना आई थिंक 2023 में जब आया था आई थिंक उसने 50 के करीब विकेट लिए थे उस साल में 48 या 49 विकेट और मतलब पेस थोड़ी बढ़ाई थी ड्रिफ्ट में चेंज किया था ये पहली बार हम देख रहे हैं कि थोड़ा वो कर रहा है स्ट्रगल
Yeah.
और
So
डू यू टेक्निकली और साइकोलॉजिकली क्योंकि पहले भी हमने देखा है सिंस मोइन अली डेज की अगर कोई बैटर उसको स्टार्टिंग में एग्रेसिव होता है तो ही गोज इन द शेल
So I think it's both of the things are in play over here. I think it's both a technical thing and it's a psychological thing. I don't
ओके
know if it could be a feedback loop that he is hesitant to flight the ball and to bowl how he would usually like to bowl because he sees it not doing well in the nets or in the matches prior. So there might be a feedback loop over there. So it's a constant ladder down where it's you bowl poorly and then you get scared and then you bowl even worse. So
So do you
that's
think that
the
uh, here leadership, not only captain but management will also get very crucial?
yeah, no,
How
it's vital, yeah.
how to handle
Especially
such?
for individuals like Kuldeep um, who are a bit more. I don't want to use the word fragile, but
No, no,
who you need
yes,
to take care of them, right? You
yep.
need to sort of not constantly, but every now and then you need to give them the G up that don't worry, it's all going good. Just work on the things and keep your head down and have confidence in your abilities. So
Because his
that sort
form
of
is very critical, not only for this ODI but T20
oh
World Cup
my
is less than 2 weeks away, I guess.
Oh my, but especially for the ODI team, he is like the central cog.
Central
Like
cog, yes,
the ODI team revolves around him.
yes.
So I was recently seeing this particular. I, I'll I'll go to this a bit later. But
Hmm.
essentially, when I was looking back at this series last night, it just struck me that this series, and New Zealand beating India almost comes entirely down to the fact that New Zealand neutralized Kuldeep. Like
Hmm.
it's almost entirely down to the fact. So India, it's usually very hard to pinpoint where teams lose series or matches. You generally have to do some amount of digging and some amount of thought, like we did with the Ashes.
Yeah.
Okay, was it the bowling? Was it the batting? Was it the fielding? But in this particular series, it's very clear that India lost the middle overs battle.
Surprisingly,
In
their pace bowlers did better than New Zealand pace bowlers.
Correct.
From
So in this particular series, it was clear to see that India's pace bowlers did better than New Zealand's pace bowlers because we have the sort of India specific skill sets that are better for our conditions than their bowlers are for our conditions. So, for example, our bowlers are more skiddy than their bowlers. We sort of target the stumps more. If you saw
yeah,
Zach Folks and
also
Kyle
lack of
Jamieson,
experience.
correct. So Zach Folks was generally outside off stump and he offered width fairly often. He did not know when the swing would die down and
Hmm.
how to control his swing in the conditions. Whereas our bowlers were very, very accurate in bowling at the stumps and keeping the stumps in play and challenging the batters from that particular area. So our seamers were pretty good in this series. I was actually impressed by how the pace stocks performed in this series. So it's very clear from, like I was saying, that this series was lost in the middle overs battle and it was lost to the fact that their spinners outbowled our spinners.
So middle
And
over की जैसे हम बात कर रहे हैं, तो not only this series, actually I was just checking numbers yesterday. So
uh,
after 2023 वर्ल्ड कप नो 2024 से लेते हैं हम, आउट ऑफ ऑल द टीम्स जिन्होंने ओडीआईज खेली हैं, इसमें इंडिया का जो बॉलिंग स्ट्राइक रेट मिडिल ओवर्स बाई मीन 15 से 30 ओवर के बीच में,
uh,
ठीक है, 48 का है स्ट्राइक रेट इनका.
Asha.
And you won't believe that 16 teams have played ODIs in this period. 16 meaning जो इंडिया से बिलो हैं, कनाडा, जिम्बाब्वे, आयरलैंड. और इन तीनों टीमों का भी इकोनॉमी रेट इंडिया से बेटर है एक्चुअली.
Asha.
तो आई मीन ये यहाँ पे बहुत बड़ा रोल जो अदर पार्टनर रहा है कुलदीप के साथ, मतलब बीट जडेजा और एनीवन एल्स, बिकॉज कुलदीप वाज द ओनली वन जो विकेट निकाल के दे रहा था. इवन साउथ अफ्रीका सीरीज में उसने 2 फोर्सर निकाल के दिए थे इन्हें. जो एक
Correct.
मैच उसमें येंसन मार रहा था किसके साथ, एक ओवर में 2 विकेट लिए थे उसने. मैं दूसरे बल्लेबाज का नाम मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा, डिकॉक था आई थिंक, कौन था. तो मतलब उसने इस सीरीज में बस स्ट्रगल किया, बट इससे पहले कुलदीप ठीक ठाक कर था. बट आगे जाके जैसे हम वर्ल्ड कप की बात कर रहे हैं, डू यू थिंक दैट ये सबसे बड़ी चिंता का विषय है इंडिया के लिए, मिडिल ओवर्स का?
Yeah, no, India needs Kuldeep to get back into form because क्या कहते हैं um, well, I'll come to the other option a bit later, but क्या कहते हैं Kuldeep is so vital to the team because even if you bring in, say, Akshar in for Jadeja, Akshar will
हम्म.
improve the spin bowling quality as compared to Jadeja because Akshar is in a better space right now with his bowling than Jadeja is with his in white ball cricket. So that will be an improvement. But by getting Akshar in, what you get in is someone who
You
is
won't get. Yes.
primarily a defensive spinner, who will be
Yes.
someone who will keep the runs down and will take more wickets than Jadeja has done in this 6 game period, but it won't be drastically higher.
हम्म.
So, kya kehte hain, you need that attacking spinner through the middle overs who can get you those breakthroughs, and that's where Kuldeep is vital. And kya kehte hain, his form, it needs to come back for India to be that sort of middle overs sort of machine again
But
that
do you
it
think
was for a
that
few years.
since World Cup is going to happen in South Africa, so
Yeah.
ये पॉसिबिलिटी दिख रही है कि एक पेसर को भी हम ग्रो कर सकते हैं मिडिल ओवर्स के लिए?
No, so that's what I was about to talk about. Is one good thing is we have some pace bowlers who can take middle overs wickets. Harshit Rana is somebody who can take
ऑल
middle
फेस
overs
बॉलर, या.
wickets.
यस.
Yeah, he's an all phase bowler, and he is someone who, while being an all phase, so Bumrah is an all phase bowler where he can take wickets, but he leans more towards the run containing side.
हम्म.
Harshit Rana is a wild card in that he can take wickets more because batsmen also go after him more, but also
करेक्ट.
because he will bowl those sort of deliveries which the batsman will not be able to play. He can deliver those in each of the phases of the game.
And when Bumrah will
So
come in the team, automatically he will get more middle overs.
Correct. He'll get more middle overs, and he'll also get more middle overs wickets as batsmen go after him more.
Yes. So I think the biggest positive for India is हर्षित राणा ओनली एंड होपफुली अब ट्रोलिंग वगैरह भी बंद हो जाएगी तो एटलीस्ट एक चीज के लिए तो गंभीर को भाई क्रेडिट देना बनता है. Okay, we will take some comments quickly and then we'll go there. Talking big games and chest thumping won't get you results. Okay. If batters can't get a start, that's okay. But if you're throwing away your wickets after getting 30 plus, then that's not done, especially in chases. So इस पे हम थोड़ा बात करते हैं कि इस सीरीज में ये काइंड ऑफ पैटर्न देखा हमने कि रादर देन जो न्यूजीलैंड के बॉलर्स ने विकेट अर्न किया है उससे ज़्यादा इंडिया के बैटर्स ने गिफ्ट किया है.
Yeah, sure.
सॉफ्ट डिसमिसल बहुत दिखा है हमने.
Mhm.
और लाइक कल निखिल भाई बात करते हैं शुभमन गिल इवन दो ही हैज़ 2 हाफ सेंचुरीज बट तीनों मैचेस में बिल्कुल रॉन्ग टाइमिंग पे उसका विकेट गिरा है.
Yeah.
जब ज़रूरत थी इंडिया को कि हाँ अब एक बल्लेबाज चाहिए सेटल होने के लिए वहीं पर वो आउट हो गया. तो
Uh-huh.
इवन फॉर अय्यर डिसमिसल एंड रोहित का भी मतलब रोहित के लिए मैं थोड़ा डिटेल बाद में आऊँगा रोहित पे. बट डू यू एग्री विद दिस स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अमित दुबे दैट थोड़ा सा काइंड ऑफ रिलैक्स और फ्लैट लगे बैटर्स की जो हम बात करते अंडर एस्टिमेट करना अपोजिशन को वो वाली फीलिंग आई उनसे.
आई डोंट थिंक उन्होंने अंडर एस्टिमेट किया, बट क्या कहते हैं, डिसमिसल्स इन दिस सीरीज काफी सॉफ्ट से थे कुछ बैट्समैन के. हाँ, दैट आई वोंट डिसएग्री विद.
अय्यर
आई
का तो चलो फिर
थिंक,
भी था कि वो आ रहा था आफ्टर इंजरी.
या Ayer ke, if I try to remember, one time he got caught mid off trying to cover drive, loft cover drive, और एक बार वो
यस.
कल पुल शॉट उस पे
कल
आउट
वाला
हुआ था. हाँ,
कल
पुल
वाला तो
शॉट
आई
ट्राइंग
थिंक
टू. हाँ, दोनों सॉफ्ट से
स्टुपिडिटी
थे.
थी.
हाँ,
हम्म.
आई थिंक, या इट्स सॉर्ट ऑफ वो नॉट इन द परफेक्ट सॉर्ट ऑफ फॉर्म कि यू कैन जज द पेस ऑफ द पिच, और उससे वजह से वो थोड़ा सा तुम्हारी मिस टाइमिंग हो गई, वो सब हो गया. सो आई थिंक इट वाज इंडिकेटिव दैट अय्यर वाज नॉट इन sort of great touch right now. कि थोड़ा सा वो,
यस.
like you were mentioning, he's coming back from a long layoff. And with Gill, yes, he had some soft dismissals. Third ODI wala dismissal was pardonable because that was a particularly good delivery, and
Yeah, but particular good
his
delivery. But
weakness.
yes, exactly. His weakness, so he should have more prepared for such kind of deliveries.
Yes, he should have been more prepared for these kind of deliveries. But if you remember, there was this conversation that the commentators are having about, you
I
know,
don't listen commentary actually.
okay, but they do show the images of side by sides, so you might have seen it, where they were talking about how he has adjusted his technique from the red ball game to the white ball
Yes.
game for this
Yeah.
particular series,
Hmm.
where his hands are going a bit further away during his setup, right? So if that is giving you returns and giving you faster runs, then I understand opening up a weakness to have for it. So I understand that trade-off. So I'm kind of fine with that third innings dismissal, where I hope he can find ways to deal with it a bit better.
Hmm.
But I'm understanding of it. I'm understanding that, okay, if this opens up your white ball game a bit better, then I'm understanding that you can be dismissed in this fashion. But the if you are doing that, then the soft
And what
dismissals should be limited.
what do you think about गिल. आई मीन जब भी इंडिया नेक्स्ट खेलेगी ओडीआई या फिर टिल रोड टू द ओडीआई वर्ल्ड कप व्हाट काइंड ऑफ चेंज यू वांट टू सी इन द गिल बिकॉज ये हमें काफ़ी आ रहा है. बिल्कुल निखिल भाई बोल रहे थे कि इवन दो ही हैज़ फिनोमिनल ओडीआई रिकॉर्ड बट एक जो बोलते हैं ना कि ही इज़ हिम काइंड ऑफ इनिंग.
Correct, yeah. So
तो
gameplay wise, I don't have much to critique him in the ODI format. ODI format, he's kind of built for that, and
यस.
he's been doing fairly well in it. His gameplay suits the format, but as you said, sort of you want him to take it deep and sort of stamp his authority in
Like
chases.
he played one in Asia Cup, I think, against Bangladesh.
Correct. In Asia Cup versus Bangladesh, in the Champions Trophy also against Bangladesh, he took it big.
Yes, yes.
So those sorts of innings to replicate that versus all attacks, and if he can do that, then it's, and he has the ability to do that, then there's nothing more you want from him, right? That's all. That's pretty much
Correct.
all you sort of can critique him about. That you have the game, but you're not converting it in the manner that your ability sort of demands.
True. सो नाउ वी विल टॉक अबाउट अदर ओपनर जिनके बारे में काफ़ी बातें चल रही हैं. तो डू यू एग्री विद दिस जो क्रिटिसिज्म हो रहा है आफ्टर जस्ट वन सीरीज ऑफ फेलियर
Nahin. I mean,
फॉर रोहित?
it was a series of soft dismissals throughout the
या
series. क्या कहते हैं, trying to be aggressive and take the lofted option, but these things come off some series. Sometimes they don't. You'd
करेक्ट.
have to see it. I was seeing some absurd things that they wanted him out of the team, or his place was under the scanner. That seemed a bit over the top to me.
आई हैव सीन
So
दैट ही इज इंटेंशनली प्लेइंग स्लो इन गिल कैप्टेंसी. Why would
there's
anyone do?
with Rohit, there's always this fear that due to his age, he will drop off in the next
Hmm.
2 years. I have that fear myself.
Okay.
I'm constantly sort of worried about it. But क्या कहते हैं, the South Africa series and the scores
Australia.
he has in the Vijay Hazare Trophy, although the Vijay Hazare Trophy is a very low standard for him.
Hmm.
क्या कहते हैं, they've earned him the
No.
right to get more games, to at least see another 10 games. If suppose he
And
has another 10 soft
now,
dismissals, that's when you say, oh, this is a problem now. And then you have to hit that valve and hit that emergency button and get Jaiswal in. But not till then.
yeah. Kshitij, this side, New Zealand did not send an understand team. In my opinion, Willow Root shouldn't be their first choice. Also, Lennox was always gonna challenge India batters. Lennox के बारे में कुछ हो जाए. Kind of replica of Santner. Huh?
Yeah, I was very impressed, and he is similar to Santner in some aspects, in that his run up isn't particularly long or like orthodox, and he sort of has that sort of jittery sort of come into the crease where he sort of pauses at time, not to the same extent as Santner does, but he
Hmm.
also has those sort of quirks to his bowling, right? Where it's a very short run up and then all of the work happens at the crease. Um, and like Santner, what was particularly impressive was for me, his changes of pace and trajectory, and his defensive work in the series. So if you
Yeah.
noticed, when batsmen were looking to attack him, or it was sort of the end of the over, or what's it called, or it was the vulnerable phases where the batsman had to start to look to go after him.
Boundary.
Yeah, when the asking rate was going high, it was not just the fact that he was bowling well defensively, but he was preempting some batsman movements. He was reacting to how the batsman was moving. So for example,
Didn't
the
allow them
batsman.
to actually use their feet.
Correct. So they would shuffle outside leg stump to try and create room on the offside, and he would dart a fast one on the wide line to out of their reach.
आई थिंक
Some
ओनली
cases.
दिस हर्षित राणा ने एक सिक्स मारा था आगे बढ़ के उसे.
Yeah.
उसके अलावा उसे आई थिंक पहले मैच में बस 2 बाउंड्री आई थी और दूसरे मैच में बस वो एक सिक्स ही आया था.
Uh-huh.
और बाउंड्री लगी, 3 ही बाउंड्री लगी है उसे.
Total what economy rate 3.5 का था across the two matches, and both
नहीं, नहीं,
matches were
दोनों में आइडेंटिकल था उसका 4.2, दोनों में 42-42 दिया उसने 10-10 ओवर में. तो
Acha.
वो भी एक
Wait,
सिक्स
I
आ गया था
confused his
इसलिए उसका हो
first
गया.
game figures with Bracewell's figures. Yeah.
हुँ,
हाँ.
हुँ.
So 4 का run rate in 2 games where 300 is the sort of score that you are looking for. That's exceptional. And
And
क्या
actually in
कहते
first
हैं.
game when he came, India's got very good start. I think विकेट नहीं गिरे थे इनके पावर प्ले में 60-70 रन हो गए थे इनके इंडिया के.
Mhm.
तब वो आया था बॉलिंग
Mhm.
करने.
Yeah.
एंड उसके बाद भी रोहित गिल दोनों को उसने क्या ट्रबल.
So you mentioned that he denied India the opportunity to use their feet, but
Hmm.
India did not sweep. But even if India had swept, the balls he was bowling, they would have denied India the opportunity to sweep, because a lot of them would
When
have
was
gone under
the
their bats. Because a lot of them were the
when was
full
the
Yorker length sort of deliveries that would have beaten the sweep shot.
when was the last time Indian from Rohit?
कभी कभी राहुल कर लेता है.
हाँ, कभी-कभी. तो वो बेचारा सिचुएशन में उसको मौका नहीं मिलता.
अक्षर पटेल होता तो वो काफी स्लॉग
ओके.
स्वीप्स मारता.
हाँ, अक्षर पटेल आई थिंक कल निखिल भाई बात कर रहे थे, अक्षर भाई की कमी एज़ अ बैटर अक्षर की कमी बहुत ज़्यादा खली इनको, जो स्पिन डिसरप्टर वाला काम करता था वो.
हाँ.
एंड अंडरस्टैंड टीम मीन्स Acha, he is still continuing his first message. You can't replace the first players with the same skill set. New Zealand did not have that issue, especially in batting. India lost due to the lack of spin hitting ability. यहाँ एक और बात मैं देखना चाहूँगा, बहुत मैं देख रहा हूँ, एक बहुत अच्छी म्यूचुअल है माइकल एपल्टन, आई थिंक उन्होंने भी किया था, कि लोग यूजुअली जब भी न्यूजीलैंड जीतती है तो ये थोड़ा कि सिंपल गाइज, नाइस गाइज, पंच अबव द वेट वाला, ये मतलब पूरा ले आते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, पावर्टी पोन चला लगता है अपना, बट ऐसा है नहीं कि उनका जब से शेन बॉन्ड कोच बना था उनका 2010-11 में, तो उसने जो खड़ी करी थी स्ट्रेंथ, वैगनर, बोल्ट, साउदी, हेनरी भी तभी से है, अभी वो चमका, बट हेनरी भी तभी से है, ये
2000 वो भी
इसका भाई,
2014 से है।
हाँ ये इसका बड़ा भाई कौन था अभी जो कैप्टन है, डग ब्रेसवेल, ये सारे थे स्कीम ऑफ थिंग्स में, तभी से तो उनका पेस अटैक उन्होंने हमेशा रखा है, और अभी रिसेंट डेज में देखो तो उनके डोमेस्टिक में या फिर स्पिनर्स भी अच्छे खासे उनके पास हो गए हैं, वैसा नहीं कि बहुत
फ्लैशी और गुड स्पिनर्स हैं, पर
हाँ अजंता मेंडिस टाइप के, लेकिन
हाँ,
जो चाहिए उनको जिस कंडीशन के वैसे वाले हैं उनके पास।
या दे हैव इनफ इंडस्ट्रियस स्पिनर्स, या
यस, तो मैं अक्सर देखता हूँ लोग कर देते कमेंट कि it would be very easy for some subcontinent players to go there and make a place in their team, बट अब ये देखो कि वहाँ पे 5-6 टीम्स ही हैं, तो उनमें जगह बनाना बहुत मुश्किल है, rather than making a place in a team like अरुणाचल प्रदेश और त्रिपुरा।
So I think you made a very good point. So क्या कहते हैं, this whole idea of them being greater than the sum of their parts or punching above their weight, it's all bogus. In well, this particular series I can understand for this particular series,
हाँ, this particular
but
team,
yeah, for this particular team I can understand that, but during their peak run from 2014 to 2021, you would look at their bowling lineups, especially in Sena countries, and you would be like, this is not an attack that is punching above its weight. It is a phenomenal attack, especially during that 2020-21 run when they were swinging the ball absolute miles. Like their
yeah,
swing data on CricWiz was breaking all kinds of records, and you were like, this is a team with exceptional skill in it, and this is a team with exceptional players. You look at Bolt, you look at Saudi,
I mean
Jameson,
you see
Wagner.
Jameson
Their
was
attack
there,
was complete for the, especially for example, the conditions that we found ourselves in during the
WT,
World Test Championship final. That was
Jameson was
complete
their
attack for those conditions.
Jameson was their fourth bowler and statistically was their best bowler,
Yeah.
and then they had the CDG as a fifth bowler.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I think
So
he's
you
the
see how stacked
finest
they were.
fifth bowler in recent times.
Even their ODI side during that particular point of time, they had Ross Taylor at number 4, they had Kane Williamson at number 3, Martin Guptill was a
Yeah,
fairly good opener. During the initial part of that run, they had Brendan McCullum as an opener who was fairly good too. And then you just
yeah.
look
Even in bowling
through the line,
department, this Ferguson, Adam Milne, they are very, very good bowlers.
Santner, yeah, Santner, and and I keep on going back to him. Trent Bolt was such a good all format bowler during that period of time. ODIs में तो बहुत ज़्यादा स्टार्ट था
Yeah,
at that particular peak of his. तो क्या कहते हैं?
I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
uh, ये
sorry, you were
स्टेटमेंट सही
saying?
होता व्हेन इन फ्लेमिंग डेज।
Yeah. Although back then, I would think they were. So I think with New Zealand cricket, they've always been about equal to the sum of their parts. So if you look at them during the 1990s, they were a team of middling quality players, and they were therefore a very middling to low tier team. During the
Yeah,
1980s, they were a team with one exceptional player and a couple of other very good players. They had Martin Crowe also for a large period of the
yes,
80s. And so they were a good upper middle tier team, or just at the lower end of the top tier team, where they were being carried by one individual primarily. And then during the 2000s, they were a team which were okay-ish because they had okay-ish players. I think throughout the history, if you look at it, if you look at the quality of players they've had the commensurate results to it. It's not been
yeah.
कि
I
okay,
mean
they've had
always
middling
they have
players,
at
but
least,
they've had a top tier team.
yeah,
वैसा कभी हुआ नहीं है उनका.
उनकी टीम में हमेशा 3-4 यूटिलिटी प्लेयर्स मिल जाएंगे।
हाँ, बट वो उनके सारे टीम्स में होता है, बट इट डिपेंड्स हाउ मेनी एक्सेप्शनल प्लेयर्स दे हैव. सो इन द
यस,
2010s दे हैड लॉट ऑफ एक्सेप्शनल प्लेयर्स, 2000s में थोड़े कम थे, नाइन्टीज
हम्म।
में तो ऑलमोस्ट थे ही नहीं उनके
एक
पास, और
सेंस था बस।
एटीज में तो एक जानवर था उनके पास.
Okay. Also, Kohli is scoring 100.
I will just say this thing before we go on to the next point. We talked
Mhm.
about New Zealand cricket and the strength of New Zealand cricket. You talked about what happens at the topmost level. You mentioned that Shane Bond had become their bowling coach, and Brendan McCullum had come as the captain of the
Yes.
side, and he brought about a lot of attitude changes and a lot of positivity to the brand of cricket. But I also wanted to touch upon some of the changes that have happened behind the scenes. So there was a major overhaul in in the
Mhm.
quality and the nature of their pitches around 2009 2010, and they made their pitches a lot more, not, I wouldn't say batter friendly, but a lot more balanced, and therefore they're seeing the
Mm.
rewards of that, where they're producing a lot more quick bowlers who know how to sort of get results on pitches which are not absolute green seamers, and you're not seeing those sort of dibbly dobblers coming through at the same rate. They might be
Correct.
there in the domestic circuit, but they have a good crop of proper good fast bowlers these days,
Yeah.
proper good
And
seam
all.
bowlers. Sorry.
No, no, you go ahead.
Yeah, and so that comes down a lot to the pitches and the change in the pitches. I will also say this one particular thing that I don't think gets mentioned. This pitch thing gets mentioned by a lot of good observers, but I will say this extra thing. I think New Zealand cricket gets a better crop of athletes than it used to in the past. I think New Zealand cricket, the sort of the access it has to world class athletes from the New Zealand talent pool of athletes, I think that's improved over time. If you look at the sort of genetic specimens that are coming through, I
Mm.
used a bit of a what eugenicsy term, but if you look at the sort of people who are coming through, like you look at Jameson, you look at um, let's look at Milne, let's look
Mm.
at all of these other like athletes who come through. These are not the
Your
sort of
favorite.
athletes that they had in the 1990s, for example, right? Like in the 1990s, they had Gavin Larson, they had
Yeah.
what, like your Chris Harris's, you had Chris Gaines, who's sort of the level of athlete I'm talking about right now, but the access
With
has become better too. I think they're
yeah, but
getting
with
better pool of athletes too.
Cranes was a freak, but with fitness of Ben Stokes. So I mean, similar to South Africa, this rugby culture, sporting culture also helps a lot in this thing to since childhood.
Yeah, but what I think has also happened is I think better athletes are choosing cricket there right now. I
Hmm.
think that's also happening with them. If you look
Yeah.
at their fielding standards, they've always been a good fielding team, but they have a few very sort of exceptional natural athletes right now. Like Glenn Phillips is an exceptional natural athlete. And if you look at their team, you're also seeing more diversity in their team also. Like what's his name, Mark Chapman. he's from
Mark
a
Chapman, Hong
he's
Kong.
from an East Asian background, right? Like
Yep.
East Asians are also coming into their cricket culture. So for
They
example,
they they got this guy with a very rare guy. This what his name? Muhammad Abbas.
yeah, Pakistani, right?
I mean, he's a Pakistan origin, but he's in New Zealand. He made his debut against Pakistan, I guess. He scored half
Yeah,
century.
yeah, I was talking about the origin, Pakistani origin.
Yeah. So very rarely you will see a middle order batter who bat right-handed and bowl left-hand seam.
Hmm.
And also one thing I would like to mention this they जो प्लान करते हैं ना टूर का जो हम बात करते हैं इंडिया ए प्लेयर्स के लिए इनके लिए
Yeah.
वो काफ़ी अच्छे से प्लान करते हैं अभी अभी भी जो प्लेयर्स उन्होंने भेजे यहाँ पे लिनक्स हो गया फिर क्रिश्चियन क्लार्क हो गया तो इनको उन्होंने रिसेंटली बांग्लादेश भेजा हुआ था बांग्लादेश टूर पे विल यंग ने भी मेंशन किया था जब वो टेस्ट सीरीज जीते थे कि विल यंग की बैटिंग आप देखो उस सीरीज में उसके पहले देखो तो उसमें बहुत ज़मीन आसमान का फर्क दिखेगा
Mm-hmm.
तो they have specifically sent him in Chennai to just prepare batting on the spinning tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So
Ravindra
obviously,
also
yeah,
goes for a lot of camps.
yes, 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 yes. And then this it always helps.
Correct.
So this brings to me next point that now do you think that especially in limited overs that home advantage is kind of overrated?
Yeah, limited overs, home advantage is not that strong.
Yeah, and India is actually वो थोड़ा ज़्यादा इसमें बुरी फँस जाती है क्योंकि बाकी सारे विदेशी प्लेयरों को इंडिया का एक रेस मिल ही जाता है
Yeah. Although I will say
कंडीशंस का।
home advantage is making a slight comeback कि वो पूरा वापस नहीं आया और it's nowhere
न्यू
close to the levels
बॉल
it used to be, but बहुत हल्का सा comeback हो रहा है because some countries are producing conditions which are a bit sort of unique or more bowler friendly to what is to their natural conditions. So जैसे श्रीलंका में
हुँ,
surfaces have become
हुँ,
more turn friendly in recent years, especially under Jayasuriya. Then Australian surfaces
यस,
are seaming and bouncing a bit more than they used to. A limited over surface. I'm comparing this with the 2010s. The 2010s was the period of the highest amount of sort of standardization across countries. Maybe even the early 2020s, but क्या कहते हैं this sort of last couple of years से न्यूजीलैंड में थोड़े से वो पेस फ्रेंडली कंडीशंस वापस आ गए हैं. England was very flat during the late 2010s, the last half of the 2010s, and again they've sort of become a bit more bowling friendly. तो थोड़ा सा comeback हुआ है, but it's still low levels of sort of home
इंग्लैंड का
advantage in
तो मुझे
limited
लगता है
overs
कि वो
cricket.
कंडीशन एंड ग्राउंड टू ग्राउंड डिपेंड करता है। कुछ ग्राउंड अभी भी लाइक इन 5 मैच ओडीआई सीरीज यू विल गेट 1 और 2 गेम्स विथ bowling friendly and 3 games you will get super batting friendly.
In England, yes, where you will. So, for example, Cardiff is very bowler friendly.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to think, Trent has become more bowler friendly in recent years. Pele used to be very flat during the late 2010s, but up it's become
Hmm.
a bit more sort of turgid and grips more. It turns a bit more.
पहले तो ट्रेंट
Um,
पेज में जब हेल्थ खेलता था तब ठोकता था।
हाँ, तब वो पूरा फ्लैट होता था.
Okay, so we got whitewash in test, no text for next 6 months. We lost home ODIs with no ODIs for next 6 months. Fortunately, our women's team gave us some joy. So KD is struggling because of lack of game time and agreeing with Dupley's point. KD has not been someone who makes changes straight away or tries different things. Even Ash spoke about it today.
Acha, I didn't know about that.
Okay. I can understand our struggle against playing in test, but are we abysmal in white ball too?
I I think क्या कहते हैं white ball में I think our batting against spin, especially in the ODI format, is fine enough. I think it's pretty good for the most part.
Yeah.
But क्या कहते हैं this particular series because Iyer had a poor series and because Akshar Patel was not there and because some of our top order batters did not go through like we said soft dismisses. I
Hmm.
think कि इस series में थोड़ा बुरा लगा. I don't think so.
It's a pattern.
I I don't think it's something to be overly worried about. Our batting against spin, thoda sa we would like to get sweeps into our play. I think sweeps, particularly in certain conditions, will help us. So in those slow conditions where, just say, I was having a conversation with a mutual of mine that
Mhm.
for example, our scoring is in front of the wicket and cut shots, right? For example, Rahul cut shots bade marta against spin. But
हाँ,
in certain conditions, it's hard to play the cut shot against spin behind square, which is a productive option for Rahul. क्योंकि पिच में उतनी पेस नहीं होती कि आप sort of वो पेस यूज कर पाओ. So if you want to score behind square in those particular conditions, then you need to use the sweep shot. So I think we need to bring the sweep shot into our play, and it will further upgrade us. It will make us go from one of the best spin playing teams to absolute beyond everyone else. So I think bringing in the sweep shot is important, but I don't think क्या कहते हैं. So it's being used as something that was definitively lost India this particular series. I don't think our batting against spin has lost us this particular series. I think it was our bowling of spin that was more important. Our
Hmm.
bowling of spin was poorer this series. Kuldeep had a poor series, and क्या कहते हैं Jadeja was his bowling was just wasn't there for this particular series.
करेक्ट।
So,
एंड इवन
so I,
द ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर इंडिया का बैटिंग ऑर्डर ने जो चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी हुई थी दुबई में, वो फार मोर फ्रेंडली स्पिन कंडीशंस थी
correct.
वहाँ पे।
Correct. For example, you talk about our Indian batsmen not being able to sweep, and that is definitely something that they should work upon. But if you look at Kohli, for example, or even Gill, how many other lineups have people who can rotate against spin so well? Like who can rotate against spin to the level that
Yeah,
Kohli does in ODI cricket? No one can, right? Like, and we have someone
no
like
one can, no
Shreyash,
one.
and we have someone like Shreyas Iyer who can take down all forms of spin right now. So
Yes,
It's just about getting those cogs working in unison again. This series, it did not work, and it would be helpful for Akshat Patel to come back in to further strengthen that.
करेक्ट। जब भी न्यूजीलैंड हमें हरा रही होती है, मुझे शामी का वो कमबैक स्पेल याद आ जाता है, 23 वर्ल्ड का सेमीफाइनल। यार ये आई थिंक पहली बार हुआ है जो न्यूजीलैंड ने हराया है एक्चुअली ढंग से
नहीं नहीं,
ओडीआई में,
बिल्कुल।
क्योंकि अभी मतलब
या इफ
एटलीस्ट
you're taking
बायलैटरल्स में,
tests, या
हाँ, टेस्ट में, क्योंकि उस इसके बीच में चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में भी इंडिया ने फाइनल में ही हराया था न्यूजीलैंड को ही। Hi, host, fan of yours, Atul Win. Thanks a lot and wish your health. Thanks for the great content. One more thing, keep on going. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। Manas Patil, India failing to use values to groom players like NKR who wouldn't have played if Pashi got injured. Are we too worried of losing Veritas? हाँ, ये बहुत सही क्वेश्चन है। Do you agree with this?
अगर बायलैटरल हारने पे गालियां मिलेंगी तो फिर उनको थोड़ा तो थोड़ा तो डर रहेगा ना उनको तो।
नहीं, गालियाँ तो उन्हें वैसे ही जीतने पर भी कि कुछ ना कुछ मिल ही जाती है। लेकिन द पॉइंट इज दैट जो आई एम नॉट श्योर वेदर यू हैव रीड दैट स्टेटमेंट ऑफ टेंडो when he
या
talked
आई read it.
specifically about, so it was very absurd.
Yeah, it was a poor statement. I I
Yeah.
I also found it absurd.
So मतलब आप एक तो चारों एक ही मौके में वो नेल कर दे बिल्कुल चांस अपना, और यू आर थ्रोइंग अंडर द बस द यंगेस्ट प्लेयर ऑफ द टीम एंड ओल्डेस्ट प्लेयर ऑफ द टीम एट द सेम टाइम। तो अभी भी आप देखो जैसे कि टू बी ऑनेस्ट, बहुत लोग अभी भी ट्रोल करेंगे, बट आई थिंक प्रसिद्ध स्टिल डिजर्व सम चांसेस टू, मतलब जो ये चाह रहे हैं जो एक सेट बनाने का पेस बॉलर्स का, तो हर्षित एंड प्रसिद्ध मैं दोनों को देखना चाहूंगा और मैचेस में। आई एम
Yeah, you
नॉट
can keep precedent schemes for sure. Yeah,
yes, but and he didn't did too bad even in second game.
because even he is the middle overs wicket taker. That's again a
Correct,
skill set that's not very easy to find. So you have
correct.
to keep him around.
So India played more sweep shots in the city than they have done in the last two seasons. That's why India won the city. Sweep shot disturb the ball rhythm. That's why it's an important shot to have. वही हम भी बात कर रहे हैं
Yeah,
कि
although I would say if you look back at the Champions Trophy, who played the sweep shots? Kohli didn't play sweep shots that much. I don't think he played sweep shots almost
राहुल
at
एंड
all.
रोहित।
Rahul, Rohit, and as we said, Akshar Patel. Akshar Patel comes back into this side, and immediately you will see the sweep shot percentages go up.
Yeah. So for bowling perspective, कल हम डिस्कस करते हैं निखिल भाई के साथ कि वरुण केम इन चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी एंड डिड फिनोमिनल वेल, एंड नाउ सडनली ही इज nowhere near even the 15 or 16 member squad. So do you see him as a, मतलब अगर वो होता या फिर ओडीआई में उसको रखते, not in playing 11 but at least part of the squad in case of any injury or anything happened to Kuldeep
I think it's understandable that they're preserving him for
for
T20s
T20
right
World
now
Cup?
because the T20 World Cup is just about to come. And
Yes,
as I've talked about with other people over here, unlike other spinners, he has a very sort of shoulder intensive and a very sort of body intensive action and sort of method.
so 10
So
hours will be too much for him.
yeah, and not that 10 overs would be too much for him, but it's risky to play him right in front of a T20 World Cup in ODIs, which are
Hmm.
a format where you can play Kuldeep more and some other person more. And if you want to play him, there's still enough time after the T20 World Cup to sort of find
Yes,
some certain games to see how he will go.
agreed.
Because because I think at some level Gambhir knows what he will get from Chakra.
Hmm.
So क्या कहते हैं, he's if he wants to see him in action, suppose in Senna conditions, then when the opportunity comes after the T20 World Cup, he might look at him over there.
So in this team, I know whenever India loses, so सोशल मीडिया पे इसको लाओ उसको लाओ ये कर दो वो कर दो बर्तन, बट what kind of change do you want to see? Not in the playing eleven, but as a wholesome squad.
So a couple of things. So like we talked about, Akshar Patel coming in
Hmm.
again would be fairly,
That is no brainer.
yeah, that's a no-brainer. And also, one of the concerns I used to have with Akshar Patel was how he would go in Sena conditions because his batting nor his bowling used to be particularly well suited to it. But during the Australia series, I saw a lot of good signs that he would be a good fit for South Africa. क्या कहते हैं, then because his bowling had improved for those conditions, he was adding more flight, guile, more sort of tricks and tools. So he looked a better package. What else would I change? I I need to know what template this team is going to play their ODI cricket with. So from 2016 to 2019, it was quite clear that India had a build and blast approach. So their openers would build 50 for no loss after 10 overs and then
Hmm.
sort of carry the innings forward and then blast off in the last few overs and then get to a score that way. The 2023 team had a clear Rohit will be the aggressor and the rest around him will go at a cruise control sort of pace and tempo. With this particular team right now, I don't know what their template is, right? Like, what is Rohit's idea of how he's going to construct his innings? What is Gill's idea going to be? How they're going to sort of partner it up? What the exact sort of what the template is? I know it's all very flexible and it's good to be flexible, but
Hmm.
having a sort of team strategy in mind helps you go forward and also sort of create role clarity, right? And that will
Correct.
further enhance how well you play. I don't get that sort of sense right now that, or looking from the outside, I don't know what the clear tactic or what the clear strategy is, right? So is Kohli the aggressor now? What is happening? That sort of thing.
Hmm. Agreed. And like it always happened that we are taking granted that Kohli will perform like this only.
Yeah, that's the point. Like when you are not in peak form, that's when role clarity and knowing how the team works, that's when it helps, right? When
Correct.
everyone is in peak form or when someone is just making do for everyone else's flaws, you will
Hmm.
not know what your sort of areas of improvement are as a team, because that person will paper over some of the things.
True. So next comment. Manas Patel, sir, who should be ideal replacement of Tilak Vashi for T20 World Cup? Also views on Iyer Bishnoi selection. They have selected Bishnoi for uh, in place of Vashi, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So how it is the like for like replacement?
So some of the thinking there is कि वो आएगा तो फिर he spins the ball away from left-handed batters. I think that might be the thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not a like for like replacement.
So yeah, they asked for that. Who should be ideal replacement? So you agree with these replacements that Iyer for Tilak and Bishnoi for Vashi?
I don't mind Iyer for Tilak. I don't
Hmm.
mind it because if you say, "Oh, we need left-handers," well, there's enough fucking left-handers in our lineup in any case.
इतने तो मेरे ख्याल से आज तक इंडिया के इतिहास में नहीं हुए होंगे जितने अब हो गए T20 में.
So the left hand thing is not an issue. The issue would then be where is Ayer's game right now? Because if this
Hmm.
was 2025 IPL Ayer, fantastic, get him into the team. But like we saw in the
Yeah.
ODI series, his game is probably not quite there at the moment. So that's
But
one
T20
concern.
it's a totally different format, I think.
Correct, correct.
Hmm.
Or form can come back, but again, he's coming back from a major physical issue, so
Yeah.
इतना आसान नहीं होता वो वापस लाना. पर्सनल
True.
एक्सपीरियंस से बता रहा हूँ कि बॉडी एक बार टूट जाती है ना तो
हाँ.
थोड़ा सा टाइम लगता है. यू आर नॉट द
Totally.
सेम
Totally.
पर्सन एनी मोर, एटलीस्ट नॉट इमीडिएटली. क्या कहते हैं, सो दैट्स फॉर द तिलक वन. आई वुड हैव लव्ड फॉर इंडिया टू फाइंड प्लेस फॉर रियान पराग, बट रियान पराग इंजर्ड भी है ना तो
Injured.
उसका
Wrong
वो
time पे.
इशू है. हाँ.
Yeah. प्रसिद्ध को और मौके मिलने चाहिए जस्ट सो दैट इंडिया कैन लूज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट ग्रुप स्टेज गेम अगेन दैट वुड डिफाइन द वर्ल्ड कप. बेचारा. इफ अक्षर, हाँ ये थोड़ा ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन है. इफ अक्षर कम्स बैक वुड यू लाइक टू बैट हिम एट 5 अगेन एंड केएल एट 6 और केएल शुड बैट 5 ओनली नाउ ऑन?
सिचुएशनल पे डिपेंड करता है. दैट थोड़ा
Personally, I would
फ्लेक्सिबल
like to
रहना,
see
पर आई वुड जनरली प्रेफर केएल टू बी एट 5,
KL, yes.
बट थोड़ा सा
बट हाँ, सिचुएशन में
सिचुएशनल
डिपेंड करता है ना.
फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. या So
I
for
think
example,
how Australia have used Maxwell
yeah, I
in
guess.
ODIs, no?
Uh-huh.
So I think that should be the example that उसका designated कोई place नहीं रहा है.
Uh-huh. So क्या कहते हैं, it's situationally dependent. So for example, if it's a gripping pitch, like say, suppose you are playing in South Africa, right?
Hmm.
And you are playing a game at Parl. If you know what Parl conditions are like, Parl में
Yes.
conditions are slow, low, gripping kind. और वहाँ
Hmm.
पे एक slow left armer आपको middle overs में परेशान कर रहा है. That is the sort of situation where you send Akshar in. So that sort of situation you send Akshar in, and when it's a more normal situation, then Rahul walks in.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
but these sort of situational, these conditions dependent, and these opposition dependent situations, you send Akshar in at five.
Yeah. Karan, would you like to see Parag in either white ball
Yes,
setup? Yes.
yes. I would love to see him in both.
ये बहुत अब लोग थोड़ा ट्रोलिंग कर देंगे आई थिंक 5-6 साल पहले आई टोल्ड ना दैट माय बेस्ट म्यूचुअल इज राघव रेड्डी so we used to
Uh,
discuss on WhatsApp that's these two guys Parag and Abdul Samad कि
yeah.
ये जो इन दोनों में जो कैपेबिलिटी थी उस टाइम यही चाहिए थी इंडियन टीम को फर्स्ट
Mm-hmm.
बॉल से हिटिंग वाली कैपेसिटी बट अब लोगों
वो
को
थोड़ी
लगेगा भाई
बेटर हो गई है.
किसकी बात कर रहे हैं
Yeah.
व्हाट आर चांसेस ऑफ न्यूजीलैंड इन T20s वरुण को भी का भी तोड़ है क्या इनके पास नहीं
I
इंडिया
was
में
about to be disrespectful and say zero, but क्या कहते हैं, ऐसा बोलना नहीं चाहिए. But T20 की team, you have two absolute cheat codes na, in the bowling. You
यस
have
यस
Varun
यस
and
हाँ
Bumrah. That
एग्जैक्टली
is
कल
not
यही
what
बात
we
हम भी
had
कह
over
रहे थे
here.
एंड दैट
Yeah,
विल हेल्प इवन कुलदीप
yeah. If
ओडीआईज
he
में वो नहीं
plays,
था उसको कि आप वो पहली बॉल पे छक्का मार दे रहा था उसको पता था कि इसको हाइड कर देंगे बट यहाँ पे कुशन रहेगा ना कि बुमराह है वरुण है तो इवन
T
अर्शदीप है
T20 is our strongest format right now. उसमें कोई doubt ही नहीं है. Of the three formats, India is strongest at
एंड
T20s at the moment.
सरप्राइजिंगली मतलब चाहे बहुत अभिषेक शर्मा एंड ऑल बहुत ज़्यादा मैं वही देख रहा हूँ जब भी मैं प्रीव्यू वगैरह में कि अभिषेक शर्मा का चला दिया है जो ऐड कर रहे हैं T20 वर्ल्ड कप के लिए बट बॉलिंग ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग सूट है इंडिया की
Yeah. Varun, especially right now, is at a completely different level.
यस
He is such a difference maker right now.
वो एकदम सकलैन मुश्ताक वाला
हाँ, honestly,
व्हाट्स द वे फॉरवर्ड फॉर स्काई हाउ कैन ही रिगेन हिज लॉस्ट टच
ये कहना मेरे लिए मुश्किल है. How exactly? It's it'll
बट
be difficult for him.
ये सीरीज
Sorry.
बहुत अगर इस सीरीज में नहीं चला
Oh,
तो
हाँ, बहुत important है, बहुत important है. And first game is
वर्ल्ड
at
कप
Nagpur. Nagpur की conditions generally are not helpful for his methods.
हम्म
क्योंकि नागपुर की बाउंड्रीज बड़ी हैं, स्क्वायर ऑफ द विकेट थोड़ी बड़ी बाउंड्रीज आई थिंक, एंड उसका थोड़ा सा वो क्या कहते हैं, स्लो विकेट भी होते हैं जनरली.
एंड हियर ही विल हैव अभी तो तिलक का था तो तिलक वाज काइंड ऑफ प्लेयर जो हर सिचुएशन के लिए अडेप्ट कर लेता था हियर अय्यर इज आल्सो कमिंग आफ्टर लॉन्ग टाइम
या
सो अगर दोनों एक साथ क्रीज पर हैं तो वो भी काफी ट्रिकी सिचुएशन हो जाएगी इफ यू कैन ओनली पिक वन ऑफ सिराज और अर्शदीप अहेड ऑफ 27 हु वुड इट बी करेंटली एक्चुअली सिराज के लिए आई वुड जस्ट लाइक टू हियर फ्रॉम आई थिंक
ग्रेट क्वेश्चन.
हाँ अंडर द रेडार चला गया था उसकी परफॉर्मेंस आई थिंक द गाय bowls phenomenally well in yesterday's game बट हार गई
इस
तो
सीरीज में वो बुमराह बन गया था कि इकोनॉमी रेट बहुत
हाँ
अच्छी है, बट पूरे विकेट्स नहीं आए.
and he didn't get his I mean preferable position or overs
I have some comments about that too, but yes.
yeah. So about this for this question what would be your pick or why not
uh,
both
why not both? Both will be in the squad.
hmm.
Of if you had to pick them, or currently they would both be in the squad.
Yeah
If you had to pick one of them for the team, my choice, it's quite tight. I might go Arshdeep, and
Arshdeep
the reason I will go Arshdeep is because he's a
variety
better all phase option.
hmm.
Whereas Siraj is decent enough in middle overs and decent enough in death overs, but Arshdeep would be better during the death overs than he would be.
And also one minor point if you let that you already have Bumrah Kuldeep सो व्हाट वी हैव सीन यस्टरडे दैट 8 विकेट के बाद फिर वो मतलब अगर 2 बॉल पे 2 रन भी चाहिए तो वहाँ पे भी आपको डाउट हो जाएगा कि भैया बनेंगे या नहीं बनेंगे। तो
I thought it was incredibly impressive that India sent in their tailenders in the exact opposite order that I would have sent them in. They sent them exact opposite order. So they went. What did they go? They went Siraj, Kuldeep,
हुँ,
Arshdeep.
अर्शदीप,
The correct order and the order I would have sent them in was Arshdeep, Kuldeep, Siraj.
सिराज एंड
Exact wrong order.
कहीं न कहीं वो कुलदीप का नॉन स्ट्राइक पे होना वो कोहली का वो शॉट खेलने में बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले कर गया।
Yeah, absolutely. The only explanation that I was able to come up with was that Siraj was a right-handed batsman और एक एक दो ओवर रहते थे आई थिंक फिलिप्स
अरे
के कि
उस
पार्ट टाइमर का
सिचुएशन में
ओवर
क्या आप
आएगा।
मैचअप करना
बैजू टेलर के साथ लेफ्ट हैंड राइट हैंड।
बट
No,
विद
but
गंभीर यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट एनीथिंग।
no, but that is the only reasonable expectation. Sorry, explanation I came up with because Siraj is a right-handed batsman. कि off spin को मार देगा वो. That is the only explanation, right?
तो
And
कोहली
when you
वाज
think about
ऑलरेडी
it,
ऑन द क्रीज नो,
no,
ही इज
but
राइट
look,
हैंडर।
think of, yeah, but then Arshdeep left-hander है ना, तो फिर वो
हाँ,
लेफ्ट हैंडर को भेजेगा फिर वो मार नहीं पाएगा. No, that if you think about it, that's literally probably the explanation that they went in with.
बट सी कॉमन सेंस इफ यू हैव फॉरगेट अबाउट कोहली, इफ यू हैव एनी टॉप ऑर्डर बैटर हु हैज ऑलरेडी स्कोर्ड 100 एट द क्रीज and number 8, number 9, number 10 batters is going to bat, his only job to rotate the
Change the
strike,
strike,
right?
correct.
So
No, but
why this?
but that's the only explanation we can come up with कि वो लेफ्ट हैंड राइट हैंड उस सिचुएशन में भी कर रहे थे.
एंड ये मेरा प्रॉब्लम है, कल मैं निखिल से बात कर रहा था कि दिस इज द डिफरेंस विच यू सी मैकडोनाल्ड और दिस शुक्री कॉनराड, दे आई मीन कॉनराड ने उसको बिठाया पेटरसन को डब्ल्यूटीसी फाइनल से एनगीडी को खिलाया, तो उसने उसका पूरा रीजन दिया
हाँ
कि वाई वी हैव पिक्ड एनगीडी। इवन फर्स्ट इनिंग के बाद ट्रोलिंग भी हो रही थी
हाँ
और एनगीडी ने सेकंड इनिंग में फिर विकेट निकाल दिए। तो
हाँ, मैं भी ट्रोल कर रहा था.
हाँ, तो जो डिसीजन चाहे गुड बैड वो हो सकते हैं, ठीक है, वो आउटकम हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है, बट एटलीस्ट मैनेजमेंट से ये एक्सपेक्टेशन रहेगी ना कि भाई आप जस्टिफाई करो जो आप कर रहे हो।
हाँ,
दे सिलेक्टेड जडेजा फॉर दिस सीरीज ऑन व्हाट बेसिस आई डोंट नो और आई थिंक वो जडेजा की लीगेसी और डाउन करती।
एटलीस्ट देव क्लियर्ड अप कि अब जडेजा को पिक नहीं करेंगे बेस्ड ऑन दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ स्टफ. उन्हें क्लियर अप नहीं किया बट क्लियर हो गया है
दे सेड
होपफुली.
दिस,
No, आई एम सेइंग क्लियर हो गया है सबके
या
लिए कि अब जडेजा शुड नॉट बी पिक्ड गोइंग फॉरवर्ड.
यस, Akshar way ahead of Jaddu. For me, he was India's best bowler in Australia series, but not flighted delivery, also getting emotional. Yeah, it's
Yeah, he bowled well.
no doubt about it. The most impressive aspect of this series from New Zealand, apart
Daryl
from
Mitchell.
Daryl Mitchell,
Oh.
that is obvious, no?
Lennox was very impressive for me.
Yeah. What about this guy, Christian Clark?
I'm gonna be honest,
He's
not too impressive. He was decent. I
okay.
think he was a bit
I
lucky
will
with
not
his.
talk
We
about his.
talked about
I will
soft
not talk
wickets, right?
about
I
his
think some of his
bowling.
wickets were soft wickets.
Yeah, I will not talk about his bowling, but I'm not sure whether you remember or not. This is the
Batting
guy
ठीक ही थी.
in yes 2020 अंडर 19 वर्ल्ड कप जो बांग्लादेश जीती थी, उसमें एक मैच हुआ था इनका, आई थिंक क्वार्टर फाइनल आई गेस, वेस्ट इंडीज के अगेंस्ट, और 153 या 152 पे 8 हो गए थे और 85 या 90 रन चाहिए थे और इसने जिता दिया था।
अच्छा.
उस एक दो मैच और पहले उसी वर्ल्ड कप में श्रीलंका के अगेंस्ट 2 बॉल पे 6 रन थे, इसने छक्का मार दिया था। इवन इस सीरीज में आप देखो तो आई थिंक जो आया तो आई थिंक 30-35 रन बनाए हैं उसने 20-22 बॉल में। तो जैसा हम न्यूजीलैंड की जो रही हेरिटेज ना यूटिलिटी प्लेयर वाली,
हाँ,
तो
he's a
उसमें वो
utility player. Yeah.
यस उसमें वो फिट होगा एंड ही आई थिंक ऑब्वियसली ही विल गेट चांस ओनली व्हेन द फर्स्ट चॉइस प्लेयर विल नॉट बी अवेलेबल।
हाँ, वो तो नेथन स्मिथ के नीचे भी होगा इन द सॉर्ट ऑफ ऑर्डरिंग.
हाँ हाँ, बट एज उसके साथ है आई थिंक 24-25 ओनली। तो न्यूजीलैंड की टीम में
हाँ,
एक
इम्प्रूव
यही
कर
ड्रॉबैक
सकता
है
है.
कि मोस्ट ऑफ द प्लेयर्स आर 30 प्लस राइट नाउ
Yeah.
इनकी टीम में।
That's the
तो
one thing with New Zealand cricket is a lot of their players improve through their careers.
या
So he could improve. he could come back an improved player. Yeah.
एंड अनदर इम्प्रेसिव एस्पेक्ट विच इज ऑब्वियस फॉर न्यूजीलैंड द फील्डिंग, उसके बारे में मैं देख रहा ज़्यादा बात नहीं हो रही. इवन फॉर मिचेल आई थिंक एक प्रसिद्ध ने कैच छोड़ा था, और कॉनवे का तो इंडिया की फील्डिंग रही है डाउन,
Yeah.
और न्यूजीलैंड का फुल मार्क्स.
Yeah.
जो लास्ट रन आउट भी कल का वो.
Yeah.
डू यू थिंक मिचेल कैन हैव मोर सक्सेस इन T20s in India moving forward? Not as much as he has in ODIs, but
Yeah, T20s में उसका गेम थोड़ा डिफरेंट है ना. So
hmm.
we used to, when we were doing analytics 2023 World Cup के around, one of the things we used to talk about was he had a supernatural ability at hitting good length deliveries down the ground.
या
तो
वी में खेलता है वो बस,
हाँ, तो T20s में उतना वो कर नहीं पाता उसको
कर नहीं
यूज.
पाएगा.
हाँ, तो ओडीआईज में कर लेता है वो बहुत अच्छी तरह से यूज, बट T20s में उतना अच्छा हो
And
नहीं
yes,
पाता
again
उसका
this
यूज.
bowling attack will change the
हाँ, how he will
run
play
rate.
Chakravarti will be to be seen.
Correct, run rate and everything. And एक बहुत यहाँ पे वो है कि even if you see his scores, no, like yesterday he scored 131 ball 137 run, right?
He was going on to run a ball for a long time. Yeah,
Yes, if similar kind of inning let's say रोहित और विराट played, no, अगर इंडिया जीत भी जाती
that
तो उस पे भी
paddle
लोग
बोलते हैं.
उस पे भी लोग ट्रोल करने आ जाते.
हाँ.
तो T20 में आई मीन विद ऑल ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट टू हिम, ही हैज 140 स्ट्राइक रेट, बट अभी का जो चल रहा है सीन स्टिल थोड़ा सा मतलब एक शिफ्ट पीछे है अभी उसका.
He's a good T20 batter, but he's not elite.
या वेल समड अप.
He's very good, but not elite. He's he's just the level below a top T20 batter. अच्छा है, but
मतलब
बहुत
अगर
अच्छा नहीं
जैसे
है.
नागपुर टाइप की कंडीशन मिल जाए तो उसमें अच्छा कर सकता है वो, अगर
हम्म.
कोई लो स्कोरिंग टाइप का हो गया मैच तो.
स्वीप वीप मार के. हाँ.
ओके, सो आई थिंक जो टाइम था हमारा टाइमर उसके पास पहुंच चुके हैं हम.
एक दो और ले लेते हैं क्वेश्चंस. आई डोंट माइंड. दो और ले लेते हैं.
एक मिनट देखता हूँ कुछ है. मिचेल मिचेल के बाद इफ रोहित इज merely decent from this point onwards, say 40-95 is merely decent, huh? How do you handle the Jaiswal possibility?
Um, that's a hard. I mean,
40-95 is I think superb numbers.
it's good numbers, yeah.
Hmm.
But it's not. But it's possible that Jaiswal gives you better than that, right? So, in fact, it's likely that Jaiswal gives better than 40-95. I don't look.
But my only concern is that अगर जायसवाल को ट्राई करना होता तो हमें अब तक कर देना चाहिए था. अब
Yeah, and
बहुत
also
उसके भी ज़्यादा प्रेशर पड़ जाएगा.
Jaiswal, from what I saw of his ODI game, the more ODI game time he gets, the better for him because there's still a few rough edges to sort of straighten out.
हम्म.
Because उसका ODI tempo जो था ना वो generally थोड़ा थोड़ा off लगा था मुझे. तो क्या
हम्म.
कहते हैं, for him to sort that out perfectly, that would require more ODI game time, more list A game time. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky situation now.
And also I'm not sure that how Gil Jaiswal as a combo will go out, because I think गिल थोड़ा ज़्यादा कंफर्ट में था रोहित के साथ. इवन जायसवाल रोहित भी मुझे एक एज ए कॉम्बो सही लगा था.
That's an
बट
interesting
गिल
point.
जायसवाल एटलीस्ट इनिशियल ओवर्स में मुझे लगा कि थोड़े वो नर्वी स्टार्टर वाली बात आ जाएगी.
Hmm. It would be interesting how they would also construct their ODI innings as partnership. Like I was talking about having a template, right?
हम्म.
What their template would be. I think Jaiswal would be more aggressive, more throwing his bat around, and Gill would be sort of the cruise tempo stuff again. So that would be an interesting combo
दो
to
दे
see
हैव
how they would
देयर हिस्ट्री फ्रॉम अंडर
dovetail.
19 डेज.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, two more questions. Seeing the new rule change in ODIs, how can India fit in hard hitters finisher in mold of Zulu, Razzak, Dhoni, Simons? Will मतलब सारे ऑल टाइमर के नाम ले लिए और उसमें KL सिंह. आई थिंक हार्दिक इज ऑलरेडी देयर फॉर
हार्दिक
दैट
तो है.
रोल. Yeah,
हार्दिक है.
Hardik is already there for that one. And Hardik only, that's why he's the MVP for white ball. तो उसको नहीं कर पाएंगे रिप्लेस ये.
After Hardik, things are gonna get so unbalanced for India ना, unless they find the
हम्म.
sort of बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा.
एंड डू यू थिंक दैट कल मैं किसी देख रहा था, किसी ने बोला था कि एनकेआर के लिए कि हिज पोटेंशियल इज बियॉन्ड हार्दिक.
लौड़ा. Sorry, I shouldn't be using so much abuses as I have been in the last 5-10 minutes. But
बीफ वाला ऑप्शन भी नहीं है यहाँ पे so that's what कि मतलब not only in Indian team, honestly, I think in world cricket I don't think anyone can have that much potential.
I, people disrespect Hardik Pandya a lot in this
Yes.
sense. They think that all rounders are growing on trees, even for other countries. Like if you think about it, you look at all rounders around the world. Like look
Hmm.
at South Africa. Okay, I'll go to South Africa a bit later, but go to New Zealand. Their pace bowling all rounders, they're not as good as Pandya. You look at Australia, their pace bowling all rounders are not as good as Pandya.
Mm,
You look
mm.
at England, their pace
You will
bowling all
you
rounders
will
are not as
find
good as
only two
Pandya.
options, and both are not mainstream options. One is Omarzai
And the
and
other,
Macmillan.
yes, but I will say Janssen. That's why I left South Africa till the end.
Yeah,
Janssen is someone who his profile is different to Pandya's, but as an all rounder, he's just as almost as valuable
but
as
again,
Pandya.
versatility this Hardik offer that you cannot expect Jansen to go at second down to bat,
Yeah, yeah.
right? He can fit in from number 4 to number 7, 8, and he can bowl in power play, he can bowl in death over. So आई थिंक थोड़ा इसमें ना कैरेक्टर का भी आ जाता है मतलब कैसे आपकी पर्सनालिटी है उससे लोग फिर थोड़ा डिमीन कर देते हैं आपका ऑन फील्ड परफॉर्मेंस
Yeah, yeah. That's definitely the case.
There have been a handful of occasions in the last year that suggest they think Siraj has improved a bit with the bat. We may never see his net miracles.
I don't think that was the thinking. I honestly
वो
think it was the right hand batsman है तो उसको भेज देते हैं.
ओके ये लास्ट क्वेश्चन है इससे पहले और कोई कमेंट है इस पे लेके खत्म करते हैं व्यूज ऑन रिंकू सिंह इन टी20 वर्ल्ड कप रिसेंट फॉर्म इशू वी ग्रूम्ड जितेश फॉर इट
I don't know his recent form. I haven't been following it.
रिसेंट फॉर्म एज इन विजय हजारे ही स्कोर्ड रन्स बट ये उसका इवन आईपीएल यू विल सी दैट इन हिज इनिशियल 10 ball phase no. So he's not like from ball one he will get go.
Hmm.
So he takes his time. So that's why his number 5 उसका ideally position रहती है. But in current Indian setup he will come 6 or 7. So वहाँ पे थोड़ा tricky हो जाता है.
Mhm.
You need a player to get. But then जितेश के फॉर्म तो उससे भी बेकार है वो तो डबल डिजिट पे भी नहीं गया था आई थिंक
अच्छा.
वीएसटी में हाँ उसकी तो और बेकार फॉर्म थी. So I think Rinku Singh will do good and then again things will change in this 5 games. So I think we have covered everything. So
Perfect. Yep.
we will wrap it up. So thanks a lot again for joining. I have taken your 2 minutes extra. So yeah.